Okay. Sometimes it goes live before we actually go live, so let's see.
And that's a monkey bowl shenanigan.
Oh yeah.
Sometimes it goes live before
We live. Hold on. Let me just see if it comes on my thing.
And that's a monkey bowl shenanigan.
Okay.
Oh yeah. Sometimes it goes live before we live.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
All right. Let me lower this. Peace, everyone in YouTube world. Peace to the east, the west, north, and the south. This is FleurBrun coming to you today with Mr. Rod Hayes in the house. You know what I'm saying? The sick eight, you know what I'm saying? We doing that monkey bowl shenanigans tonight. So if you got the kiddies in the room, I suggest you go give them a coloring book. You know what I mean? This might be a little bit risque, right, Rod?
Mature.
Mature for mature audiences only. Okay. So peace, everybody. I'm so happy that Rod decided to come on and join me tonight. There's so much going on. We're kind of just gonna go impromptu. So check on in. Oh, they're already checking in. Hey, everybody. Hey, Rod, say hi to your audience.
Hello, how y'all doing? Come on in. Come on in, invite a friend, and now tell them to tell two friends, and so
Ooh,
on and so
you know what I'm
on.
saying? Your friend could get with my friend. We could be friends. Remember that? And that's what
Yeah,
got him in trouble. He should have kept it off, on the side, keep too much in people in your business.
yeah. You know that was a hair commercial years ago.
Was it?
The what I said, you tell two friends, and they tell two friends, and so on and so on and so on.
I didn't know that. So he
Yeah,
kept this, you
it,
know,
it's it's
it's like
this
Pantene.
is a pre-internet viral. How you go viral before the internet through the gossip circle?
Oh, that's cool. A friend can, tell a friend to tell a friend, tell a friend. Anyway, y'all check on in. We're going to talk a lot about, I want to get into a lot of things, Rod, because I was trying to get on with you during the inauguration, with Mr. Kamala. I know she's homeless right now, you know what I'm saying? Drinking a Hennessy and smoking a blunt. It's okay, Mr. Kamala. You lost, but it is what it is, you know what I mean? And then we got the orange man. He's causing a wreck, gaslighting everybody, Geminiing it up. So we can discuss like a little bit of everything. So I'm gonna let you poor Rod. I'm sorry, Rod.
Look, this is a commercial.
Let me see.
Uneven beard.
Hold up.
I gotta see this commercial.
Not ask for Beard Club as your gift this two friends about Fabergé organic shampoo with pure wheat drum oil and honey, and they told two friends, and so on. Fabergé organic shampoo, it isn't. It's an imitator. They're not all the same, so be sure it's Fabergé. For super body, super shine, super fresh smelling hair, get the one and only Fabergé organic shampoo. You'll tell two friends, and they'll tell two friends, and now you got it, and so on, and so on, and so on.
It's the Brady Bunch. I've never seen that commercial. You got a memory because I wouldn't even remember that. I never saw it. Tell a friend to tell a friend. It's like the Brady Bunch. The Brady Bunch. The
Yeah.
Brady Bunch. So Mr. Rod Hayes, I want to introduce, everybody knows you already, but I always like to give you an introduction. And I always like to kind of get deep into like who you really are. You know what I mean? Because let me just get some gossip off the table. Rod, can I do that?
Let's go. Let's get some gossip off the table.
Can I release the Kraken?
Release the Kraken. Release the Kraken.
For those, there's some ladies, Rod, that like to write me about you. And they seem to think that me and you are doing a rodeo. You know what I mean? We're doing a tango. And they're mad at me because they say that you like women. I think they prefer you like men. So can you validate that you're a man that likes, that is
I'm
a
a whole
healthy.
man. I love women. And me and FleurBrun ain't not been in the same room at the same time in real life.
That's what I'm saying. Stop accusing. Just because we talking doesn't mean everything is about that life. You know what I mean? You can't even have a conversation nowadays, Rod. It's like God darn. I know
I
everybody's a
almost said
trans.
some I almost said some real grown gutter in the street stuff right then.
We
I
gonna
was
keep
close.
we listen. We gonna keep it PG, but if we gotta go there, we gotta go there. So I just want to tell you, very wicked, very low vibrational females, stop it already. If you have a crush on Rod, write him. Stop writing me. Stop being a
No, don't
hater.
write me. Don't write me because I don't got time for it right now. Don't write me. I ain't got time for it right now. I'm trying to free our people. And
He told you all not to contact him. Leave me alone. I told you I'm a trans frog, and now Trump won't let me be that anymore. I told you, you know that, right? I'm a trans, homosexual, gay, white, Jewish man. I just wanted to come out of the closet. But now Trump won't let me be that. He said there's only two genders. Even though he's orange, he's not letting me be who I truly think I am or believe I am with my mental illness. So I just want to put that on the table.
look, people, when they don't know where your sources of the light from, they try to dim it, and they use the most poorest quality of demeaning methods,
Mhm.
and like stuff that don't even make sense.
Sure.
They can recognize everybody except they celebrities, they famous cross-dressing celebrities that they think
Hello.
men and women. They can't recognize them.
No, no.
They get harder mad you call one of them cross-dressers a cross-dresser.
Oh, they get mad. Now the passports have to say their real sex. You know that, right? They're having conniptions right now that when they're going to get their passports, it actually designates the sex that they were born with. They're very upset, Rod.
Well, they shouldn't change what God gave them. They
Ooh,
wouldn't have a reason to be upset.
I know that's right. When keeping it real is keeping it real. Anyway, so Rod, we're gonna wait until we get to 500. So let me dive deep, Rod. So Rod, where are you originally from? Where you from? Where you roll? Where you come from? Where you be?
I was born in Cook County Hospital on November the 10th, 1968.
Ooh,
We stayed in Chicago for a while. Then we moved to Michigan because my father got a job working as an auto worker.
that's right. The automobile industry was big then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we stayed in Pontiac for a while. Then we had a family crisis. We ended up moving back to Chicago,
Mhm.
and we stayed there for a little while. Then my mother relocated with the children to Grand Rapids, which is 2 hours northwest of um, Pontiac.
I heard it's really pretty there. Grand
Yeah,
Rapids. Yeah.
we used to love Grand Rapids when we lived there. I still love Grand Rapids. It's a nice city to be in,
Yeah.
especially now that a lot of the this generation that's coming up now, they colorblind.
They can. They
They,
can
they
enjoy
don't.
it. They can be together. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's beautiful.
In the 80s, a lot of people don't know, after the Vietnam War in the 80s, they
Mhm.
brought a whole lot of Vietnamese to the Americas that was helping the military.
Hmm.
And they have a sizable community of them that was relocated up around Grand Rapids.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. One of my best friends is Vietnamese. Yeah.
Yeah. They didn't see color until they got here.
Oh yeah. Color doesn't exist. Well, isn't it more of a political status? You know what I mean? And
It's a military doctrine.
mhm.
It's
And
it's it's designed to separate groups of people so they're more controllable.
absolutely control. And we kind of talked about before that the indigenous people that are brown copper skinned people like yourself and myself were originally here, and that they kept redesignating their status, their status, like, as first they were Negro, then they were colored, then Black, something like that, and then African American,
Well,
to kind of take away their rights to who their original indigenous status in the United States.
you can't take somebody's stuff. Like, if you live it in your house, I can't just move in there without moving you out.
Well, you could.
You about to get some more hate mail. But look, people can't do that. You can't come to somebody else's land that's inviting everybody in the world. America before Columbus came had an open door policy.
That's right. Absolutely.
We invited all of the orphans of the world. That's why in our families that's been here for the longest, you got all skin colors and hair textures.
Yeah. And
And they don't,
blood
yeah,
types.
yeah.
Yeah.
And they don't always match up. Like, you might have a chocolate brown sister with blonde hair naturally.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody be like, look at her. She trying to be white. She dyed her hair. She didn't dye her hair.
No. You see it in Brazil all the time. Brazil is like the mirror to what we are here, to be honest. Like the multiculturalism, the different complexions, but they still have a lot of, racism over there.
Yeah. And well, they got colorism.
Mhm, mhm.
Colorism. The colorism was the tool used to force the people to amalgamate with the settlers that came.
Yeah.
They got a term. The term is called Brazilianization.
Mhm.
And what it means is when the melding pot is melding and you blending all of the ethnic groups together and you finally get a successful blend, they are Brazilianized now,
That's right. Because that's where
right?
my people came from originally, like the northern part of Brazil and French Guiana, which is Cayenne. And that's what they did. They were just harmonic, and the French, well, actually people don't think, they think it's mostly Portuguese that went over there. It's actually a lot of Italians. Rome didn't dissipate. It just relocated to South America.
It
But
expanded.
uh-huh.
Everywhere that the Catholic Church has a presence, it's a Roman presence.
Absolutely.
Rome became the Catholic Church in order to sidestep the political drama.
Hmm.
They control Democrats, Republicans, socialists, communists. All
Jesuits.
that's all that's controlled. Those political parties is controlled, or political ideologies is controlled through Rome. The Republic was discussed on the Senate floors in ancient Rome, and this is where Plato get his Plato's Republic. And they talked about the styles of government way back then, and they was trying to find one that would work on large groups of people from different backgrounds.
Mhm.
So when they told us Alexander conquered the world, he didn't literally conquer the world. He found the scrolls of government in the Indus Valley in the mountains of Tibet, which tells them how to govern over mass groups of people from varying backgrounds and what to control in order to not have to micromanage individuals,
Sure. And
right? So,
they had a genetic understanding that some people were sensitive to sugar and alcohol as well.
yeah.
Mm.
If you go back to the Aztec um, paintings, you see that they was taking alcohol enemas. They was preparing for somebody to bring alcohol over here
Mhm. Mhm.
because it wasn't a common staple to the people over here. We wasn't alcoholics.
That's right.
We
And
didn't need it. We didn't need something called escapism to cope with life. We
just like
live life, and that's
yeah,
how we cope.
absolutely. And also just with my genetic background, bees are hypersensitive to sugar, and they had an understanding that the indigenous here had a sensitivity, didn't have an enzyme. So what is perceived to be addiction to alcohol is just an allergy that has a really good feeling. So bees are hypersensitive to it. And we know we have a high concentration of A bees in the United States and throughout Central and South America. So, having an understanding of someone's genetic makeup, like you said, being able to study and know how different groups react to certain kind of social ideology or type of control systems helps, because you can control them. If you can't control them from the outer perimeters, you can control them from the inner.
The most functional. You ever see Drink Champs?
What is it? Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
You know that's an ancient cultural phenomenon. When we used to use the peace pipe and the herb, but
Yes.
when the settlers came, we started using alcohol
Mm,
in negotiations so we can
yeah,
find out what they really want.
yes, yes. I've heard that. Yes.
Yeah. So the Drink Champs was the retread of the powwow circle when we smoked the herb, because you can't sit there and smoke herb with somebody and then they sit there and tell you a bald faced lie without knowing they lying,
That's right.
right? But they say a drunk man speak what?
The truth.
A sober man,
Open mind. Yes, yes.
right? So they say if you want the truth, listen to babies and drunk folks.
That is so true. You always get the truth from the young and the old, right? And
The
you know what's
young and the drunk.
interesting too? I know we're not supposed to say it online, but I really don't care. You know, with the whole pandemic that happened, one of the cures is tobacco,
Yeah,
nicotine,
nicotine.
nicotine. And the people that had the least amount of symptoms or were non-symptomatics or didn't even get sick were people who were smoking cigarettes. So remember they were going to ban it and like I think it was like 2022. Remember they were like, "Oh, we're gonna, cut back on smokers because we're concerned about people's lungs during cucarachas," you know what I mean? But
Yeah,
that was all uh, just cap because what they were trying to do is mitigate the fact that one of the most natural herbs that the indigenous do quite frequently and engaging with the nicotine, which has a connection to their indigenous roots, is stop the very thing that was able to, control the bioweapon.
it's the receptors. The
Mhm.
receptors in the brain.
Yeah.
So you know what a nootropic is, right?
Yes.
Nicotine is a nootropic.
Mhm. Mhm.
And they know this. This is why they start poisoning tobacco.
That's right. With 50 million chemicals when you can, but it tends to have less, right? Isn't that true? It has less.
It
No?
depends on who grow it. If it's growing through RJ Reynolds or any of those major tobacco companies,
Yeah.
they dust them with the uranium, plutonium, and all that BS.
That's why
But
why did they ban the Cuban cigars? Is that why they banned them? Because they're more pure?
no,
No?
the Cuban cigars was banned for economic reasons. They was trying to strangle the economics of Cuba
Okay.
totally.
Okay.
And
Strong on.
it wasn't just the Cuban cigars. Remember, Cuba was a primary exporter of sugar and pineapples.
Absolutely. Yes.
And
Yeah.
all of that was stopped under the embargo. They just now started relaxing the embargoes on Cuba in the 2000s. They've been under embargo since the 50s.
Yeah. And they still
That's
have,
why when you look like you go in a time warp when you go to Cuba.
oh yeah, it's amazing. It's a beautiful place to visit. And my grandmother actually was there. My mother's mother lived there for like 12 to 15 years. It's a
Mhm.
beautiful place, It's a
Yeah.
communist country. People don't realize it, they control the food, the distribution of the food, but the culture is still very, very intact,
That became a necessary part of government to control the food because when the embargoes was put on them, you got to remember when Castro and Camilo and Che Guevara took over Cuba, they took a lot of stuff from American mafiosos. One of the retaliatory things they did was burn crops.
Hmm. As a way to control the ability to be able to export it or import it or utilize it for their people.
Well, what they was trying to do is starve out the army, which is made up of the people in the grassroots.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And they wanted to, they said, anybody know about guerrilla resistance around the world for the last 80 years? It's a term they use, beans and bullets. That means feed the people and protect the people. If you want to interrupt that, you have to interrupt either the firearm supply or you had to interrupt the food supply.
Mm-hmm.
So like with Castro, one of the first things he did was seize the armories of the government so
Oh.
that they could have the weaponry to fight back.
Mm.
And they was raiding government um, auxiliaries that housed the firearms to arm the soldiers to fight the resistance.
Didn't know that.
Yeah. So um, the when they realized they got enough guns to fight us, so when they leave, okay, well, what's the next thing? Get rid of the food. So they was burning crops.
Hmm.
You know,
Kind of like what they're doing to us now.
now they getting rid of GMOs.
You think that's what it is? They're getting rid of all
They have to. They
yeah,
can't give it back to us with toxic food.
it's true. So
So
yeah,
for the last 3 years, you can look up chicken farms that have caught fire,
yeah,
um,
yeah,
slaughterhouses that didn't caught fire.
silos that were taken
Yeah,
out. Yeah.
yeah. All of these different stuff. So the farmer, it got two options. Government been subsidizing GMO foods, steroid-based foods, toxic foods.
Mhm.
Now, if you want to make money as a farmer, this stuff is no longer going to be permissible. You got two options. If you just stop farming and let it die off, you're going to go broke.
Absolutely.
But you got another option. You've been paying insurance for 80 years.
What?
You've been paying insurance for 80 years. Why not collect?
Oh, stop.
Not
Oh,
only that, you got to remember, FDIC is trying to patch all of the places the BRICS is forcing the US
oh
dollar out
yeah,
of.
absolutely. You heard
So
of
their insurance company is leaking bad. That's why they keep coming up with this 250 billion missing here and
Mhm.
100 billion. That's because they can't collect on the interest, or we call it inflation.
Mhm.
They can't collect on the inflation of the dollar when it's being forced back home and nobody's using it. The dollar is contingent upon circulation.
That's right. That's
This
what
is
they
what,
were stimulating. They were stimulating the economy. Yeah.
yeah. And so what do they do to stimulate the economy? They give out massive grants.
Yes.
They give out massive grants, but we normally didn't get the grants.
No. No.
When they created something called the United Nations, then they found out that they can create super grants if
Mm.
they gave it to foreign interests.
Entities. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
this is why you see every time something happened over here, they give Ukraine a whole bunch of money under the Biden administration.
Hmm.
They circulating the dollar trying to artificially float the system.
Interesting. And that's why also like when you in South America, you'll notice like in Ecuador, in Panama's starting to do it. Also, Argentina's starting to want to do it. They're starting to save the dollar. Like if you go and do it's called the blue exchange, you'll go and you'll give them they just want American dollars and they're stocking it. They're holding it in Argentina. They're just holding it because they want to use that currency.
Well, we gotta remember, Argentina will be all right if America stay out their business.
It's true.
They leverage was stockpiling the US dollar, the fiat.
Mm-hmm.
It stagnates the growth of the money because it has to circulate.
Yes. Yes.
If you stockpiling it, you run it into, it's like digging a hole, and the hole is so deep that no matter how much water you put in it, you never fill it up.
Interesting.
They digging a hole for the dollar.
Yeah.
They bury in the dollar by
Yeah.
holding it. It's
Yeah.
like they holding us in reprisal for the debt, so they holding the US dollar in reprisal for exploitation of their people.
Oh,
It's the
interesting.
same thing. It's just
Yeah.
it's a counterbalance.
Yeah. And did you hear what happened with China? China just made a big deal with Brazil, which is basically going to initiate a new bartering system. That kind of puts the brick back on the table. I don't know that it'll happen, but they just made a big deal.
So the thing now is, how are they going to do what they call international exchange of currency
Mhm.
if everybody's back to it's a one-to-one value everywhere you go? So they're trying to look at the stability of the economy so that when they set exchange rate, it should come out in the end a fair exchange,
Yeah.
equivalent exchange, not a superior or inferior.
Yeah, because $1 of US is about right now it's like 5.6 reais in Brazil. Yeah. So they're
It,
trying to
that mean
even yeah.
that mean their dollar is effed up.
Oh, it is. Like it's wonderful when you're here, but it's really terrible for them. It's not fair. You know what I mean? So it's interesting. So let's kind of turn the topic of discussion to what's happening. Did you I don't watch Super Bowls, monkey balls, you know what I mean? Balls of mass destruction. Everybody wanted to watch the Super Bowls, but Kendrick Lamar did
Mhm.
a performance and I usually don't watch it the night of the Super Bowl because I don't want to get entranced by the socially engineered mind control programming. But I did get a chance to watch with the Zombies last night or today rather, and I found it really fascinating. the things that he did during the Super Bowl, the imagery of the PlayStation with the X, and I'm going to ask you some questions because we came upon something like 4 a.m. with the zombies. He had the X, the triangle, and the O. He had the PlayStation, because this is the game of the Matrix. He had Mr. Serena crip walking on Drake's poor soul. You know what I mean? Looking like a man, bleached skin. Did you not know that bleaching should be illegal? Come on now. Like Mr. Serena, I don't know if her bald. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Rod. Let me pull back. Let me pull back. Okay, I'm gonna behave myself. Okay. Okay, let's go to the performance. What do you think about the performance, Rod? Like, I thought it was really ritualistic. The words he was saying. I mean, I'm a big hip hop fan, but his verbiage was powerful. But there was some mind control programming in there. Can I get a little bit of a breakdown of what you perceive that ritualistic performance was
Well,
about?
first thing I gotta tell you is I didn't watch it. I still haven't watched it.
See, you're like me. Yeah, I didn't watch
I
it.
still haven't watched it.
Yeah.
The second thing is that the code didn't come out in the outcome of the game. It came out in the outcome of the performance.
What do you
And we
mean?
was expecting the Chiefs to win.
I wasn't because I didn't expect them to win because we found out that the Eagles was the year it was founded, the Eagles is a snake and that the Hawks were a pig and it's the enemy year of the pig. So I kind of presume that a snake team would win. So Philly, we kind of discussed it before it happened, so I assume Philly might win.
Yeah, well, most of us, because we've been watching the Chiefs, right? I was hoping that this would be the years for the Lions finally, but it turned out once they was done, because they represent the kings of the North,
Oh, okay.
right? The lion symbolism is the king,
Mhm.
right? The bear symbolism is the nomad. You know, you know, you don't F with them people over there. Stand out here in the woods by itself. The symbolism for the eagle is also the symbolism of a high chief.
Yes.
My conflict came in is when I was looking at chiefs on both sides of the game,
Oh, okay. Yeah, because they're both
right? So,
Chiefs, yeah.
and the obvious thing is to go with the one that actually called them chiefs in the name, but we didn't call them chiefs. That's an X on them.
That's what they call them. That's not an H.
Every, right. So our tribes, for their tribal leader, had a different term that represent their leader.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like for instance, in the Washita, theirs was called Miku,
Mm.
right? And sometimes they name is enough to designate who they are because everybody in the tribe know them. And then they would, like, for instance, we use the term Sonny. Sonny he born to be a chief, especially if he wasn't born named Sonny and he picked that name up. Everybody started calling him Sonny,
Yeah.
Sonny Boy, Son.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
He's
he was
imbuing
born to
that
be a chief.
energy. Yeah,
He
he's
was,
he's imbuing that energy. Yeah,
yeah. Now you got to do is look his birth date up and check the stellar alignments, and you will know what type of chief he is, what
that's
he
right.
came to do,
That's right.
what they call
Mhm.
your astrological chart. So the
Mhm.
astronomy and astrology go together in order to read the numbers on the ground,
Absolutely. I found it really
right?
interesting like, with the game was symbolic, but I want you to see it. I'm gonna wait until you get a chance to see it so we can.
Let's do a little background on Kendrick. You see him standing on his car,
The
right?
what? The what?
Standing on the car. The car was the name of the album was the same name as the car.
Okay.
He used that car. I think that was his first car.
Okay.
Okay, now we had to go back to at what point do we know Kendrick is one of the Chiefs? If
Well,
you go back
mm,
about 2020, not long after Kobe artificial crash, um, not long after that, Kendrick had a big LA concert. And he invited the OG from every set in California all up and down into Arizona. He invited them personally, like he had his team calling them up, who your OG? And sent some of them even sent them the tickets.
got chills when you said that.
When they all get there, every one of the top tier California rappers
Mhm.
came and they spoke on Kendrick's behalf and passed him the torch.
Mm.
That was a big event that 99.5% of us over here missed. We didn't know what we was looking at. That was an actual coronation of a chief to unify a whole tribal um, network, a network of tribes
Mhm.
that had been warring against each other, never knowing that the only reason they was warring against each other is the enemy turned them against each other through infiltration.
Coot them out. Yeah, coot them out.
Right.
Yeah.
So when they find out what was going on and how the infiltration was working, they knew who the stand-up OGs was and they knew who the frauds was. And this is how they know how to tell the youngsters, the soldiers, how to move, right? And back then, I had got a knock from the OGs out there, said, what's the smartest thing we can do out here to destabilize the enemy? I said, hit him in the pockets.
Oh, every time. Every
Hit him
time.
in the pocket.
That's the
Don't hit
currency.
him in the head. Don't kill nobody. Hit him
The
in the
currency is their
pockets.
currency. Yeah.
Look, after Wall Street crashed in 1929, they was jumping out of windows. Hit them
Oh,
in the pockets.
absolutely. 80s too. 80s too.
Right. Exploit the law and hit them in the pocket. So what they do? They would have what they call store runs. 1,000 people run hit Nordstrom. Boom. 1,000 people hit the jewelry store. Boom. It's too many people that the local security is overwhelmed and the police don't got time to get there and enough masks before they get out. Hit the freights. All of it was going on. I was reporting on it in real time because I was pointing to the weaknesses in their system. They can exploit one or two of us, but when we make moves as a collective, there's nothing they can do but stand down.
Absolutely.
So up on, I think it was San Francisco mayor issued an order to the police that if they see a mass action movement, don't engage.
I remember that.
If
Yeah.
they go in the store and take the whole store, don't engage, let them have it. Ain't nothing we can do about it.
I didn't understand that because we're saying, like, I didn't understand why they were letting that happen.
Right. They was letting it happen for two reasons. Insurance gonna pay the store owner. He not gonna lose.
That's right. That's right. They're
The
covered.
second reason is if we moving in that much of a mass, they scared we got the troops waiting in the background.
Oh, wow.
They too organized. You can't organize 1,000 niggas to do nothing together like that unless they know they finna defeat their enemy. They already is aware of that. They was aware of it before it happened.
But why? Let me ask you a question. There was like a lunar white couple, a woman that supposedly was heading the like contracting young brown children to go and rob these stores. You think that was a cover story or trying to create a narrative that was to explain that what was happening so that no one knew what really was occurring?
She probably was doing it for real. You ever heard of the Weather Underground?
No.
The Weather Underground during the time of the Panthers had made an allegiance with the Panthers, and they was all pale-faced, middle class, upper middle class students who thought that the way that the people of the land was being treated was egregious.
Mm,
And they knew that the government was fraudulent because they hear their parents talking.
that's right. That's
So
right.
they was coming out of Michigan.
Oh, wow.
They made alliance with Panthers as far as California and New York.
Mm,
You know who Patty Hearst was, right?
yeah. Yeah.
Right. So Joseph Sinkyu he was the founder of the Symbionese Liberation Army. His real name was Calvin DeFries,
Okay.
Mr. Freeze. Right. So once she got indoctrinated, that's what they say, she didn't never forget what she learned. Now remember, she come from the Hearst family, one of the richest families and media moguls on the land.
Absolutely.
That's why she was picked. But he wasn't supposed to do that. That's not what the trainers, the handlers from the CIA that taught him mind control in San Quentin. That's not what they told him to do. He was supposed to use that influence to get people with this skin color
Mhm.
into an army format to fight Manson's family.
That's right. That's right.
Charles Manson was like, nah, we're not gonna do that. So they had to lock him up.
Yeah.
But they blew Calvin DeFreeze up. They literally blew him up, like blew the whole house up. On the news at 6 o'clock, we watching it.
As an example.
Make sure. They did him just like the only difference was between them and the MOVE movement is everybody in the MOVE community was 100% didn't do nothing. They just wanted to be left alone and live unto themselves under the guidance of Giant Africa. They didn't ask for none of this. But Calvin DeFreeze, aka Joseph Sinkyu, he knew. He knew what he was he knew he was facing death by defying the orders given to him by the CIA.
He just did it to do it. Just to do it.
Everybody can't win in war. Somebody gonna take a L.
Yeah.
It's up to the generations to follow to determine if we're gonna flip that L into a 7 till we hit a jackpot.
Mm.
If you can show how you can benefit from those lessons, when you flip a loss into a lesson, it's no longer a loss.
That's right. That's
You
true.
learn from it. That means that you flip that L into a 7.
It's still a win.
So it's still a
An
win.
eventual win. Let me ask
Yeah.
you the question though. So going back to Kendrick, when you're saying that he had uniform, what I noticed, and when you get a chance to look, he's wearing a hat, like almost like not a pheasant, but like a hat notable to a Yoruba priest in his video.
I
If you
thought
ever
he had a baseball cap on backwards.
No, like in his video for the song "They're Not Like Us," like
Oh, okay.
he's
Yeah, he
wearing
had
like
like a kufi type
Yorubas,
hat.
yeah, like a Yorubas priest hat. We were kind of discussing it. One of the young ladies knows the Yorubas, certain things they wear, and I thought that was interesting because when you say he commanded all the OGs to come together, only someone qualified could do that spiritually and also land legs wise. So he has two. And when he was wearing that, I was like, it's interesting that he was qualified to take that command. Totally. Now, what would be the beef between him and Drake? Because Drake represents the Moloch, the Molochians, the Zionists.
You
Yeah,
remember when I told you Kamala was playing the role of the harlot that's supposed to fail miserably?
that's right. Yes.
Kendrick is playing the character of the dragon
Mm.
that's supposed to be slain at the feet of the great mother,
Oh,
which means he had to volunteer because they couldn't make him do it because he had to take the L.
yeah.
But if he accepted as a self-sacrifice, the highest form of sacrifice is a self-sacrifice. Kendrick is the only one qualified to sacrifice him, Abraham and his son.
Hmm.
Aubrey brought Kendrick into the rap game. What your mama say? If you get out of line, I brought you into this world, now I'll take you out.
Hmm.
It's what you call a script flip.
So Drake brought him in, and he was meant to set him. So Aubrey is Drake's name.
Right. So
Mhm.
now, if we take the Abraham story to try to explain what it looks like to give it something where people can relate, imagine Abraham was told you have to sacrifice your son, right?
Mhm.
But when you get to the altar, he tell his son, I'm gonna lay on this altar. You carry on the legacy and sacrifice me.
Mm.
You gotta remember, even though Drake is part Jewish, his father from Memphis.
Oh, I didn't know that.
His father one of us. Now he got two choices. Now he got two choices. He can fall to the blue house on the fatherland, Kendrick Lamar, sea walking, or he can run from it all and be sacrificed by the red house as the wasted womb of the wasted seed of the mother's womb.
Mm,
That was his option. The path of least resistance is the wisest path. Nothing in nature is find the most resistant path to take.
absolutely.
So if you got a good advisor like a Jay Prince, and you say, hey, these people came to me and told me I'm gonna take this L or I'm gonna take this D. I don't feel like trying to dig from under 6 feet of dirt. I'd rather take the L. What's the smartest move to make? How do we have this L where we can still be winning? It's all part of the game, but the game is over.
Like the PlayStation game. You got to see it. Yeah. The PlayStation game.
Just like Fortnite.
Yeah. Yeah. This is interesting.
Now we in here wearing these goggles we call bodies, meat modems.
Hmm.
They're really artificial constructs of the machine.
Yes.
But we got to know how to play the game.
Hmm.
Right? And once we learn how to play the game, then we know how to maneuver around our enemies.
Absolutely. But we also have to know the rules. And once you know the rules, you can gain a little leverage and then you kind of watch, you know.
Game rules of living major.
Ooh.
Outlaws, outlaws.
And let me ask you a question too, because as we're watching like the video today and there's like a big X, you know, there's this whole antage of the X. So I kind of just kind of transcribe that even though X is considered to be like exit, X marks the spot, there's a part of the X that's inverted, like kind of means, I noticed that the things that they put X on, even though it's meant like Twitter, you know, Twitter that BioBorg Elon Musk purchased for supposedly free speech, which is bullocks, okay. He named it X. And if you notice, like even with the creation of SpaceX and then bringing up, you know, Planet X, all these X's are being kind of initiated. And, you know, visually, when we see certain geometrical shapes or symbols, it has a play on us subconsciously.
It's called
And
sigil writing.
yeah,
It tells you how to create them.
yeah. And I
Okay,
noticed,
so before
yeah,
you go any further,
yeah,
in our community, who owns the X? Who's the X synonymous to?
women.
You
No.
talking gender, but I'm talking about in the community as in
Um,
at large. The
the brown community,
so-called
the brown community. Yeah, the
right
melanated people.
in the melanated community, right?
Yeah,
Who made the X
Malcolm.
valuable to us? Malcolm. Who gave Malcolm his X?
Was it was it Elijah Muhammad or no?
It was Elijah Muhammad.
Okay, yeah.
Everywhere you see an X is furthering his agenda, knowingly or unknowingly. What was his agenda?
To
Accept your own, be yourself.
yes, yes.
That was his agenda. How you gonna do that? You need what's called a Trojan horse,
Yes.
right? If you go to one of Malcolm's first interviews, the biggest part of the interview was why you drop your slave name and take the X.
That's right. Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Introducing X marks the spot. Malcolm is Malcolm Little, Detroit Red, running the red herring to bring back the chickens off of a Sam Cooke, Little Red Rooster that brings the chickens back home to roost. That's why the statement was so controversial. So they tagging the future generations of young chiefs. They giving them X's.
Like Generation X. I'm from Generation X. Yeah.
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 They make it popular in what culture? Hip hop culture.
That's right.
Remember?
Yeah.
Remember when we was walking around, everybody had a jacket with a big ass X on it?
That's right. It was
This Elijah Muhammad slowly creeping up on us.
interesting.
You can't, you can preach the need to change, but you can't change too much too fast or you'll cause resentment.
So you have to do a slow walk
Right.
to success.
Now, the X ties back into the masonry, the crossbones,
Yes, yes.
but his didn't have a skull. That means that he didn't have to kill nobody
The
to
one
own the X.
that's right.
But the one with the skull on it is the symbol for the pirate, but it's also the symbol for the poison.
That's right. Interesting.
All of that stuff connected. Unified field theory. If you use an X one place, it's connected to every X everywhere else.
Absolutely. And the X
If you
Yes.
if you dominate the energy of the X, then you can control the flow of the energy through your lens by controlling the X.
Interesting. So you think unbeknownst to the Bioborg Elon, he named it X with that in mind, or was it like more of a blind
Well,
action?
let me just get this out the way. I think Elon Musk is a whole android.
Well, let me do a
Just
Google.
like Mark Zuckerberg
I agree.
is the same thing as Data from
Data.
Star Trek.
Yes, yes, yes. You're speaking my language.
And I believe that, okay, now let's do a little background on Elon Musk. We did a little background on X, a little background on Kendrick. Now, Elon Musk comes from the emerald mines
Mm-hmm.
of South Africa.
Mm-hmm. From Canada, by way of Canada.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Now, where is the Emerald City?
In Oz.
What does Oz mean? It means strong,
Yes, yes.
right? The 5% acronym for God, Gomer Oz Dabar. Wisdom, strength, and beauty.
Hmm.
Right? Now, if he's the son of the one who was mining the emerald, that means his daddy was a puppet master pretending to be a power wielder behind the curtain. He
Master.
didn't go in the direction of his dad. So his
No.
dad tried to defame and demean him.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
Right? Now, remember what we just said about Drake honoring his father,
Mm-hmm.
take the L on his father's side to turn it into a 7.
Interesting. Yes.
But Elon is not trying to get out of the father line. He's trying to get on the money line
That's right.
and on
At
the knowledge.
the top.
So he's not flipping 7s and L's, he's flipping X's and O's.
Mm.
He's just looking to be accepted for who he is, and X marks the spot.
And mine data, because that's what he does as an android.
Yep.
Yeah.
Now, before it was X, it was called Twitter.
Twatter.
Twitter is a tweeter.
Tweety. Remember
A
Tweedly?
tweeter is a little speaker,
Yes, yes.
shaped like a O,
Mhm. Yes.
X over O.
Oh, you're brilliant. Oh my God, you're brilliant. Holy
Okay, now,
cow. The zombies are in the chat like right now because we were on until 4 a.m. talking about X's and O's and what the X means. Oh, snap. Go ahead, Chief. You
okay,
earned
so
that name.
so now he's flipped the X,
Holy cow.
right? That's to free up the communication, because that's why he say he bought it, because they
Yeah.
were censoring everybody, scamdemic information.
Oh, straight up and down.
So he bought it. What else did he threaten to buy?
Twatter, what's the other thing? That thing
TikTok.
everybody, TikTok, which is TikTok, like TikTok, like count TikTok. Yeah.
That's the clock.
Yeah.
You didn't notice, no, most people didn't notice all of the 17s associated with the end of the TikTok. Q all over it. 17, it was down 17 hours.
That's right. For a
It was
switch, for a
it was
swap.
reactivated in the military time in 1717.
What do you think? It was taken over. Do you think it was? I think it was taken over so that they can covertly take
They
all.
never took it over.
They just basically reset it, or just it was capped.
Mhm.
Was
Okay,
it?
ask yourself this: when do the clock stop?
When does the clock stop?
Hmm. When you playing a game.
I don't know.
The clock only stops during timeouts and game endings,
That's right. Yeah, yeah.
which takes us back to Kendrick. Uncle Sam exits stage left. He ain't coming back ever.
So
It's the
this is
rules.
the game.
That's the rules to the Hollywood rules that they got out of Broadway.
That's
At the
right.
end of the play, the
Stage left.
ones who gotta
That's
go
right.
get redressed, they exit stage
Stage
right. They
left.
got another
That's right.
scene to play.
That's right. That's right.
The ones exit stage left, they don't come back. They scenes is up. They getting dressed to go home or watch the rest of the play.
Can I ask you, Rod, a personal question?
Yeah.
Are you are you an extraterrestrial?
I'm an Earth terrestrial.
Are you a hybrid of an ape man?
Yes.
I think so. I think so. But I'll just leave it there.
Listen, I'm gonna tell you exactly who I am. I am the firstborn of the Earthborn, parthogenic son to the Great Mother.
I know that's right. Can I
I
tell you?
was created
Yeah.
by approval of the Earth Mothers, and Prime Creator as a defender to the Earth.
I see that. Mm.
Earth threats take on different forms. So Morpheus transformed like Decepticons. The way I go hard, just call me Genghis Khan. Sound the alarm. I'm about to set it off.
Oh, that.
Okay, so the key is, how do they call me when they need me? It's a monkey key.
That's right.
When the elephant comes to town with a monkey on her back, that means a new matriarch arrives with a young monkey. He's monkey flipping for keys his whole childhood
Mhm.
as an ear hustler. Because the hustle is in the blood. It's the nature. Now pair the nature with the nurture. Because mama got to convince him to use wisdom over force.
Right.
Right? So the wisdom of the mother, as the child sit at the feet of the master, dribbles on the heads of the babes. He is now anointed with mama's words of wisdom. And now he has to figure out what she want him to do when she ain't here to tell him.
Mhm.
Because she already told him, he just didn't know she told him. He got to figure it out. Even if he don't think he that smart. He's smarter than he think,
He's way smarter than he thinks. Yeah. Yeah.
right? Because there's no big eyes and no little U's, so he ain't never felt he was better than nobody, but he sure as hell ain't felt nobody was better than him.
Mm. Go ahead, Monkey King.
So if you level the playing field and we play the game level, all of the ones that can't walk straight, we can see them walking like drunk men across the board.
Oh,
Remember what Tupac said?
yep.
This us in the middle.
Yep.
What we do? We bump straight.
Mm-hmm.
The ones on the right, overly righteous, get stuck in the church.
Yep.
The ones on the left, overly wicked, they get stuck in the street.
That's right. The one in the middle is the ones that
We
hold the
come in
line.
teams.
Yeah.
It's a relay race. We come in teams. It's a relay race. The boy king always precedes the old wise man. That's why they tell you that the wisdom comes from the mouth of babes. So hopefully you listen to the boy king. If you listen to the Boy King, you won't never have to see that old grumpy old man that's to come after. Because this next guy coming after me, he ain't gonna have no mercy, and I ain't got none.
Mm.
I got the same mercy they had when they was cutting babies out of mama's wombs.
Mm.
So if you want mercy, you go get it from that motherfucker. You ain't gonna get it from me.
Mm.
You get the same mercy she got. The good thing about me is easy to placate me. Give everybody what they deserve, good, bad, and indifferent, and you won't have to worry about me doing it for you.
That's right.
My chief said I got a brain bang. I want to go out in the street, test some shit up. He telling me about hitting some books and going to a library.
You want to do stuff in real time. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I want to go get stuck to the left for a little while before I bump back straight.
You might have a moment in the next couple months. You know what I mean? It's getting a
Well, it's
little.
gonna come a time real soon where a lot of good people are gonna have to do some real bad stuff to some real bad people in order to make things right.
It balances out the beams, though. You know, you straggle
Yep.
too far left and right, you end up having to find your way to the middle eventually by, engaging. Light can't exist without the dark and vice versa. So it's best to be somewhere in the gray. You know what I mean?
You can't tell me you peaceful when you harmless.
Exactly.
But if you dangerous, I swear you peaceful.
It's true.
The big trick is we have all of the real power, but we don't understand that the psychological consolidation of power is more important than the physical gathering in the location.
Absolutely.
This is why I had to go through the social media route. I don't like this shit. I do not like social media.
Me either. It's messy. And
Very.
it's hard to because there's so many non-validated characters online who utilize the untouchable they utilize the fact that you can't touch them to gaslight and
But I come from Generation X. If we wanted to cancel the motherfucker, we had to do it to their face.
always in real time, 3 o'clock. What time? 3 o'clock after school. You have a conversation face to face.
We be standing in their doorway, looking in the doorway while the teacher can't see you.
3 o'clock.
They be in there crying.
Yeah. In New York, we say on site.
So,
On site.
yeah, that was later on. We had the sign language first. But look, the on-site came when people start having the ability to do it over the text message.
That's true. That's true. Yeah. On
'Cause
site.
if you had to call somebody's house on
That's
a
a
rotary phone and y'all got beef, you might as well just go over their house.
That's true. No. It always happened like that. You get the secret knock, and it's not much of a secret after you open the door. Plenty of scraps like that. Yeah. It was a beautiful time. We were talking about it. Living in Generation X, we were like feral on the streets, no phones, no cell phones. We survived.
And we
we
be laughing about stuff we did as children that we don't even know how we did it. So we wouldn't even know how to tell the child today to do it.
it was just by experience, by chance. You know what I mean? We lived every day like it was just a new day to do anything. There were no restrictions.
We
Yeah.
were adventurers.
Absolutely. Yeah. I always tell people there was no cameras around. What you did, you did. You know what I mean? It was your word against mine. You know what I mean?
You know that term, porch monkey?
Yeah.
Since we monkeying around,
Mhm.
you know the origin of it.
No, tell me.
So most of the stay-at-home men, they gorilla clan.
Oh,
And they children is always stronger than everybody else's child.
it's true.
You see these little 1-year-old muscle-bound babies,
Babies.
and they be climbing up on stuff.
Mhm.
Right. Because the totem of of the father is the gorilla, orangutan, a spider monkey, they started referring to the babies at Big Mama house that was trapped in that wraparound porch. Because we ain't had no playpen.
No, no.
And they babies, all of the Gorilla Clan babies, they still won't hold them. They climbing out.
They're like pure like animals, like savages.
You just can't. They can't be confined.
That's beautiful though.
They
We
can't be
need non-confinedness. We need people
right.
that
You,
no border can stop them.
that's them, and they always get picked out first by the big boys on the yard. And this is where you get your term. Don't you run your puppy ass off this porch that you can stomp with the big dogs.
No.
Big Mama's telling them, baby, they took all our stuff that we used as endearments and they turned them into derogatory epithets.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we don't know when they calling us a coon, they talk about a very specific tribe out of Mississippi. That same tribe Lori Lightfoot from.
I didn't know that.
We call them coon, the Coon Clan, because they all get black around the eyes. The older they get, the blacker they get around the eyes.
That's interesting. Yeah, and I know people from those areas that have that. Yeah,
Yeah, that's the Coon Clan. And they
like
was hated.
like raccoons. Like
Yeah,
little.
they look, the settlers hated them because their warfare method was wait till the colonizer go to sleep and steal all this shit.
Like raccoon coming in their garbage, going in the bag, going under the. What?
Right.
I didn't
So
know.
they became the most hated of the colonizers. Imagine you go to sleep with a Gatling gun and you wake up with a box sitting there where it used to be.
So the coons were like raccoons, like pirates of the night.
Yeah, that's what their job was. But see, they was being overseen by what we call the Black Wolf Clan, those who wear the wolves. This is where your werewolf stories come from.
Yes.
These them 6'8" Mississippians, them Tuscaloosa, Alabama brothers,
They big, they
where
strong too.
yeah, they pick up your engine with their bare hands, right? And they dressed up like a giant wolf, and they standing just out of sight in case they wake up and attack the Coon Clan. They gonna get ravaged by the wolves. We fought together. They needed to separate us. Look, the Irish came over here long before Columbus. And they settled in the Appalachian Mountains.
That's right.
And they was the ones who gave us the snipers. Because the tribes that they used to hunt with used to teach them how to use crossbows and bows of different kind before the firearm to get your prey at a distance. So when the settlers introduced the firearms into the environment, they begin to use the firearm in order to shoot their prey at a distance. All of the military methods was adaptations of your natural hunting methods.
Oh, wow. Makes sense. Yeah.
And this is why a lot of the old writing says, if they always say it was as if nature herself had descended from the darkness and taken the severed heads of all of my men. Yeah, it was nature. We nature defending herself.
Yeah. So what's your thoughts on, we can kind of touch on this because something's happening with the 50,000 million executive orders that the Orange Man is making. But one of them was interesting because he's questioning natural born. I have a theory and I want to kind of get your opinion. The native, I don't want to call them native, I'm using the correct word, the native Indians on those reservations, which I liken to be $5 Indians or more of like implants, right? They're concerned that they are being removed from those reservations. I have a theory that the Trail of Tears were all the indigenous that weren't going to sell out, and they left those territories. And the ones that were contracted to stay on those lands were placeholders for later for the government that will eventually take it because there's no indigenous on those lands. There's only natives, which aren't people that are from those arenas. They were people planted on those arenas. What say you, Rod, about that?
Okay, so first I went over this last night on the live I did on my Facebook. But the settlers was originally heavily melanated Europeans.
Mhm.
Those people that we call Native Americans with the Genghis Khan blood, the Siberians,
The Mongolian, yeah, the Mongolians, yeah.
go back to who Rome was fighting.
Hold on, my dog's there. Hey, chill. My wolves, hold on, my wolf. Privates, they're out of control. Chill out. But it's okay. They're probably seeing the Insepticons outside. Hold on. Come on. Good girl. Over there. Okay, sorry about that.
Mhm. Okay, so they brought their servants with them. The history books say they brought servants with them.
Mhm.
They also numbered the servants they was bringing with them. The Trail of Tears was after King George put a military buffer zone between West Florida and East Florida.
Okay, okay.
Right. In West Florida, what we call it today, Louisiana,
Mhm.
they fighting the French.
That's right.
In East Florida, they fighting the Spanish.
That's right.
The English, King George, inserts his military between them because we was going south and east to support the Gullah Wars. Then we stumbled across the Huguenot Wars, the French. So we begin to concentrate our forces in the south. This is why most of us can trace directly south.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then some of the ones of us that can trace south can trace back bloodline a very long time on the land. Pre-Columbian, if you want to know. Like
Absolutely.
Chief Warhorse, for example.
Yeah.
She got a family history dating back like 13,000 years.
Oh, that's beautiful. Oh, that's beautiful.
Right? So that means that she was here long before Columbus came.
My tribe
Her
is from
bloodline was here.
Yeah, we were there in Caribs where we were there way before.
Now,
Yeah.
if we remembered our culture, we would have knew that all of the South was populated with family farms from distant tribes, and they would all make pilgrimage
That's
to
right.
Big Mama house
Mm-hmm.
for the cookouts and the harvest festivals that they monetized and turned into holidays.
Yes, yes. My grandmother
Right.
would yeah, we have in the Caribbean, we went to the South and we did a lot of exchanges, even exchange with marriages, like we intermated, within the tribes. Yeah.
And most of our marriages was appointments. They wasn't this European romance story that ain't gonna never come true.
No.
Because most of us don't know it's talking about a man and a boy and it got nothing to do with no women.
Mm-hmm.
But they just paint them up in the modern stories and tell it to us like women involved. So the elemental Q community ain't new. We've been chasing drag queens across the land since they got here. Talking about a drag race.
Good, Monkey King.
Half of the first ladies was drag queens.
First man.
Oh,
Mm.
I don't think
Balls
they
of mass
first. They
balls.
might be.
You lift up the skirt like balls of mass destruction. Woohoo!
Yeah.
Woohoo! Mm.
Look, Barbara Bush name was Big Buddy.
Oh! I don't say. Woo!
The only
She.
ones I think was married to a woman that I can.
Ooh.
I was JFK,
Yeah, Kennedy. Mm-hmm.
Ronnie,
Yeah. Mm.
and um
I see
Howard
one.
the Duck,
Which one?
Donald the Duck.
Oh yeah, 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 millennia. Even though I think she's an insectilian, but just a little bit of that hybrid in her, covering her eyes.
You think she a what?
She's an insectilian. She looks like a bug.
No, she's Pleiadian.
She's got the pheromones on him. Like she's like like shh, blowing it on him. She's controlling that house. That's why he's orange. He got an insect, probably stinging the hell out of him. Got
And he called him Agent Orange in the CIA for his negotiation tactics.
wow.
Now, if you pay attention, they tell you who they're gonna throw him on. Hillary is evergreen.
She's diabolical. The baby peeler, the baby face peeler.
Mm-hmm. What's the evergreen?
It's a tree.
Yeah.
It's a
Okay.
tree.
And then you remember you have the bushes.
Oh, you're like giving me like brain orgasms.
Go back to the Vietnam War. They couldn't get to the enemy. They couldn't drain the swamp of the Viet Cong because the thicket of the trees and the brush, the bushes, was too thick.
Yeah, it's
And the only
very,
thing they needed something that would incinerate it.
that was Agent Orange.
Agent Orange.
And my mother was a special ed teacher, and she actually had students in her classroom that's fathers were in Vietnam, and the children had all kinds of weird
Messed
mutations.
up stuff.
Yeah.
That's because they wasn't just using Agent Orange. They was using radioactive chemicals as well.
Mhm. And there's a huge homosexual population in Vietnam, and AIDS, which most people don't know.
In a period.
Yeah.
It used to be a video. We used to talk about it when back in the 80s called A Shock in Asia.
Say it again.
It was called A Shock in Asia.
Ooh.
You ever heard of Faces of Death?
Well, we know of Generation X. We used to watch that as young people.
Right.
The young people would be mortified that was our entertainment.
The Shock in Asia was about all of the weird stuff they do over there.
Oh, was it on Faces of Death?
It was something like that around that time.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's the Faces of Death. That was the stuff. I watched all
Yeah,
three
the
of them
guy
like
who came out,
1,000 times a piece.
we watched it. Remember the guy who came out of the plane and he got eaten by the alligators?
Oh yeah,
I'm sorry, y'all. It's morbid. That's why we're the way we are.
those Sobek priests, the
That was
ones who used to charm the alligators, was called Sobek priests.
Sobek priests.
You still got tribes in Africa, and you still got pockets in South America and in Louisiana where the old man come out, he might slap or something. Hey, yo, come on over here, Gators.
No, yeah, they don't even in South America with the caiman, which are like and like little alligators, the little capybaras, they're so cute, like big rats. The capybara, 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 capybara. I love this song. Capybara, capybara, capybara. Those little capybaras are like sitting on alligators. Alligators on the caiman don't bite them. And there were people who swim with them who in the Gully, wasn't it the Gully? Which tribe in the Mississippi? They used to, the brown indigenous were swimming with them. They were,
You know what stopped it, don't you?
wait, say it again?
You know how they stopped it, right? They
Like
started gator
putting the
baiting our
babies.
children.
Yeah, they start putting the babies and tell
And
them that
that's
it's meat.
what made them have a taste for our flesh because they wouldn't eat us.
That's right.
But they eat a stranger that don't belong over here because his scent is different.
Hmm.
But the ones from here, they didn't eat us.
They didn't.
We was literally one with nature.
Hmm. Like in Avatar, like in
Yeah.
Avatar, really,
We had treehouse villages.
which I plan to live in eventually.
You never had to come down to the ground for nothing. They had life figured out how to live in the treetops. Shout out to the treetop Hyrule.
Well, the trees also pheromonically, like even the things that they did, the way that they created fruit. The fruit actually was when it was when it grew, it actually grew every single nutrient that was specific to the certain people living there. We were
Yeah.
symbiotic with the trees.
Yeah. Well, you remember when we used to use the bathroom, we used to use the bathroom under the tree,
That's right. That's right.
right?
It was eat fruit. We were eating more natural and organic too. Yeah.
The soil then has your energy signature.
Same way you
It-
pee in your garden to keep, to
Yeah.
keep that inside.
And where you lacking that, Mother Nature adjusts the fruit to match your biology.
Mhm.
That's why mass slaughter was prohibited.
Mm.
We didn't slaughter animals that we didn't have a relationship with.
It's true.
And they understood that they was there, what they was there for, to feed the people. So we didn't mass slaughter nothing, but we used every part of everything that we killed.
Everything, the antlers, and also gave honor, even now with my children, give honor to every animal that we engage with for the
Yeah.
life that was given, and it wasn't a sacrifice that was in vain.
That's where the culture come from.
Yes, absolutely.
All of the earth tribes would honor what they kill before they eat it.
Mhm. Kosher and the what is it, the what's the other one, the Islamic one,
Halal.
halal and kosher. And they don't mix the milk of the mother with the flesh of the child, which is parv. You separate, even in the fridge of Jewish people, you separate the milk, any dairy, from any of the flesh, even the utensils. It's an energetic thing. Yeah.
But really, the only the livestock they have now, the bovine beef, we
Mhm.
supposed to use products from it. We're not supposed to eat the meat.
Mm.
It's polyunsaturated fat. The side effects is it causes what the consistency of lard to build up in your brain over time,
Mhm.
strangling your synapses, giving you Alzheimer's and dementia.
No,
Not to mention all of the Alzheimer dementia-inducing drugs they also giving us.
oh, in every single way. And all of the pharmaceuticals that, our wonderful government creates in the United States is from mostly Asia, Chinese, and India. And most of the base of the medication is with petroleum, which is a anti to the body, to the chemistry of the body, and it breaks down your central nervous system over long times of using it and consuming it. So that's why Alzheimer's is more of a byproduct. You're seeing more of it now because that was my study. Alzheimer's and Parkinson's, which, is a byproduct of basically like diabetes 3, like consuming things that have a lot of petroleum, and also with a lot of the
Well, petroleum acts like saturated fat in the blood anyway.
yeah, yeah.
Petroleum oils.
And it,
The oils that we used to use it from bison fat, the fat of the lamb.
yeah, and tallow, which I still use. And we're not supposed to use like oils like oils, like saturated oils. Like those oils are block the arteries, and a lot of
Yeah.
the oils is toxic when you cook it, when you warm it up. It changes
We
out
used,
chemically.
we used to use a lot of whale oil too.
Way different, yeah.
They
Everything.
decimated the whales.
Do you imagine, even with the story of the buffalo, that when they killed all the buffalo, which was the main source of food and nourishment for specific tribes? I mean, just to think of how heinous these beings were who came over here, who did that. And there's been no,
You got to remember why they said they did it. Then you know your culture, and then you can look at the background and see why they really did it. They said for every bison they killed one of us.
that reminds me of Avatar. Remember when they killed the whale and it was a
Mhm.
symbiotic with the women? It was like they were siblings. Oh, that gave me
Yeah.
a shock.
So we had what's known as the Bison Clan became known as Buffalo Soldiers. They
Buffaloes.
make fun of them in the TV show called The Flintstones.
Did they? Wait, they did?
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, I gotta see because I watch the Flintstones. Oh, you're gonna teach me something today, or many things today, right?
Yeah. They make this is the Bison Clan in Satire.
Liberty Mutual is all she talks about since we saved hundreds by bundling our home and auto insurance.
Oh, I didn't know they were spoofing the Buffalo Soldiers. I thought they were talking about the Masons and the lounges. You know what I mean? I thought they were talking about how the Masons. I thought that's who they were spoofing.
No,
That's so disrespectful. I didn't even think about that. Holy cow.
they got a whole bunch. The old Mississippians, they call them the Big Red Brute. That's in a different cartoon.
Yeah. Oh my
Then
God.
in the ones that the rapping Indians
Mm-hmm.
that don't nobody know what he's saying but the chief, that was an underdog. They was call them the Gopher Indians. Now we don't know what they was making fun of us for until we look back in retrospect.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
The scout chief, because he had one feather, that means he was in training. He was sabotaging the European forces. He would talk in front of the European forces. He would be rapping and pop locking. So they don't know what he's saying. But the old chief with the full headdress sitting there listening to him rapping, and when he come back, he say, "What's the plan you got?"
Holy cow. I didn't know. Didn't know. Wow.
Yeah. So they've made fun of us ad nauseum in the cartoons.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Um, as we're talking about that and we're going forward into the new administration, let me ask you a question. I don't know if you saw it. Did you see the inauguration or no?
I didn't watch it.
Okay. There's a part when Trump was going to put his hand, there was like two Bibles, two books. You know how with president, the pooping president, the
Yeah.
previous
Yeah.
non-president, where he didn't even he put on a satanic ritualistic book, obviously. This
Good
time,
boy.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Trump's wife was carrying two books. One, I think it was they explained as like an old Bible of the family, another one on top. This time, when he originally made when he did become president in the previous administration, he put his hand on the Bible. This time he didn't. What do you think? Why do you think he didn't?
Can't swear in twice.
Say it again.
You can't swear in twice. He's a wartime president. He never left office.
So he was still holding his position of power.
They was running the corporation. He was running the republic.
Woo, you're right. Two are separate. They're two separate entities.
They was they hired Kamala to fail miserably. That's her job.
Well, and also to cosplay brown women, so it brings more of a lower, perceiving brown women to be, cooking greens in the bathtub, being, acting like a buffoon, just basically spoofing brown women. It's disgusting.
Yes. Anyway, so
I'm sorry.
he already is holding the office. The Biden administration gave them a 4-year extension to close out the corporation.
Mm.
Right. The first thing he did was 50 executive orders. Why the number 50?
That 5 is for change. That's a 5, but I don't know why 50. 50 Was it reminiscent of the stars?
Mhm.
Or
It's 50 is the final flip. It's only 50 seats on the council. 50 is the final flip, the final seat.
mm,
I'm big 50. GD Prairie Dog, 4850. Knocked off 49 on the Pepe Le Pew, Pepper from the Pews.
holy cow.
So,
Okay.
so when you get to the final flip,
hmm
everything accelerates.
As we see, yeah.
Mm.
Now, question before you go further. Why is he doing the deeds of, I call them the Daros, but or rather the Israel? Why is he doing the bidding of Israel and not taking the stance of like saying that he would take over their lands? And also, why is he sitting with Netanyahu without any consequence or anything, even though there was a little bit of dissension, which was like, which we saw, even though it looked like it was clean, there was a little bit of micro, there was some micro hostility showing up when they sat together. What do you think about that?
You know, you know who Vanessa Williams was, right?
Of course.
Miss America.
Yes.
Joe Montana was playing his last big game, and they played her song, Save the Best for Last. And he came out in clown. And ain't time to deal with that right now.
Mm,
Create a compelling spectacle. Polarize the people. Confuse your enemy.
I understand.
Those people who's pretending to be Jews in Gaza and the West Bank in this makeshift country called Israel are Ukrainians.
Yes, yes,
Before they were called Ukrainians, they was called Khazarians.
yes, Khazars, which are converts from Eastern Russia and Poland and Ukraine.
Right. That's different than the Sephardi.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Those are a different group of people. Them the ones saying that they Jews for Palestine because they don't agree with this Khazarian.
No, they don't. And they're
Yes.
very strong about it. Even in Brooklyn over on Carroll Street, they've been protesting. They're not for it. No.
And a lot of them will flat out tell you those are not Jews, those
Well,
are
they say it.
Zionists.
Yeah. Well, we have friends who
We
we have a friend who's there and she's like, we don't associate with them. We want them to leave. Yeah,
yeah, those are Zionists. Zionists are a different group of people.
they are.
Those
Genetic.
are those are the byproducts of the concubines of the Moors when it was Prussia.
Speak, Rod.
During the Prussian rule, this was dismantled by Tsar Nicholas, which made them take over Russia with the Bolshevik Revolution,
Yes. Yes.
right?
And they got to also.
Vladimir Lenin set it off. Stalin furthered the agenda, and Gorbachev tore down the wall.
That's right.
This is a stage show, political satire, theatrical performance of political elites that don't have no real power playing out a monopoly game.
Woo! Using everybody else as their pawns.
And as long as you don't know that you're being played, they're going to keep playing you until you can't be played no more.
That's right. Absolutely.
Those people got their day coming. If you tell them people from that's really Palestinians to leave the West Bank, if I was them, I'd leave. Because who you leaving behind? X marks the spot.
Ooh. clear the space so that the real consequence could come to those who deserve it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Or as Rakim say, run for cover.
Woo! I know that's right. Now, what say you about what's happening in the Congo as well? You've heard about what's happening in the Congo with the mass destabilization. I think it's the same people. I think they're Israelis. They were mercenaries over there. And, like whenever I lived in New York all my life, but, when you go to the Diamond District, you don't see Africans selling gold and diamonds. You only see Jews, Ashkenazi Jews who monopolize
Well,
that.
okay, but you trace the diamonds back. The diamonds, any diamond on the market that doesn't come through the De Beers Corporation is considered a blood diamond.
That's right. That's right.
The De Beers company is the one who tags the diamond with its identifier.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
They are the monopoly in the diamond world. They are the ones who selected the Khazarian bankers to disseminate their diamonds. And they control the flow of the diamonds by controlling who they give it to.
Oh, okay, I see. Yeah.
Right. So when we talking about the trade in gold and diamonds on the Gold Coast, this is why you primarily seeing what looked like a Hasidic Jew.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Right. The Sephardi, they the ones, those the Jews that got to work their way up just like us.
They do. They do. It's sad, but it's okay. Yeah.
And they ideologically do not agree with those other Zionist Jews.
Yeah.
That's pushing the agenda of the more Zionist Jews.
Mm-hmm. And they're subjugated under marginalization when they're in Israel or anywhere else. It's seen as lower tier. Like
Well, now, how did they get to be Jews?
who the Sephardic?
Yeah.
Wasn't
Okay,
yeah.
look, they ousting the Moors from Europe. Moors are primarily Arabs.
Yes.
The people
Or North
that's
Africa.
being used to exile them are primarily Christians.
Yeah.
The ones who converted as Sephardi didn't want to take sides in the war.
Oh, so they took a neutral position of something all the way on the other side.
Yeah.
So it wasn't not to be a party of Islam or not to be a party to the Christianity. So they took a neutral stance. Ah, interesting.
Both Dr. John Henry Clark and Dr. Bean do lectures on that. European history.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
How these people get to be Jews.
Dr. Jeffries was my professor.
He did some lectures on them too, yeah.
Yeah, that's how I learned about it when I was like 17. Yeah, he's my
So they end up being the ones who didn't want to be part of the religious cult of them homosexuals.
Oh.
Never knowing that they getting caught into the cult of the trainer of the other two homosexual cults.
That's right. The Babylonian satanic cult.
Because they didn't come with the Torah. They didn't come out of Babylon with the Torah. They came out of Babylon with the Talmud and the Mishnah.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
This is where they got the Babylonian blood rights and all this child abuse in there for control.
And 100 and something genders.
Oh, boy.
100 and something, Rod. I'm still trying to. I told you I'm a trans everything.
I can only. I'm gender blind. I can only see two.
100 and something. We read them off one night. It's diabolical, Rod. It's crazy. Yeah. And then also the concept. Now, what do you say this? Like even with giving birth to sons, and I kind of really speak for women on behalf of this because they don't know what they're stepping into. And I come from, my tribe doesn't believe in circumcision. We don't circumcise our sons. None of us do. So what say you and women having to participate in Judaic practices in Christian hospitals, and they're making it seem like it's a medical procedure, but really it's a religious procedure? What do you say about that?
Well, 100% agree. I don't agree with that BS.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That don't even make sense to me. It's illogical. It's illogical and irrational why you would think that it was cool to cut off a piece of your son's penis.
Just when he's freshly born. He's freshly born. And then not even that, the rabbis were in Brooklyn, a lot of them were caught because some of the children were getting herpes,
Herpes.
syphilis, biting off the foreskin, biting them off. And the parents were cool with it.
That's because their religious doctrine told them that this is what the priest is supposed to do: suck on your baby pecker until he snatched the skin off. That's just the most ridiculous thing I ever heard. But it's in their literature.
It is, because also, a lot of men are traumatized as babies because that's the first time a beautiful baby boy is born, and the first thing he has is a surgical procedure that's unnecessary. And then it also makes your wand less sensitive because the sheath goes over, it just protects the penis.
I figured it like this. If Mother Nature didn't think I needed foreskin, she wouldn't have gave it to me.
Exactly.
So it's just like if Mother Nature felt like that trans testicle should have been born a boy, he should have stayed a boy. Now he in his feelings because he got to put he was a boy on his passport.
I gotta use that. I'm gonna get a shirt. I'm gonna buy a shirt for me and you. We're gonna have trans testicles. We rebuke it. Could you imagine? You think we get kicked out? They probably kick us out of everywhere. Trans testicles. Like investigations.
No, I don't want to investigate him. I'm not that interested in them. Look, people can live their life, but stop trying to convert the kids to your alternative lifestyle.
I'm totally for it. I think you can be who you want to be. You want to be, Sylvester the cat on Sunday. You want to be, Elmer Fudd on Tuesday. You can do it. I agree. Promoting that and propagating that to little people and putting that in the educational system is criminal. Criminal. And for that bastard who calls his son, Zoe, you know what we're talking about, with his man wife, let me stop being messy. Letting that boy walk around 7 feet tall saying he's a girl. It's disgusting. It's disgusting. Isn't that the sacrifice?
Well, once he get to become a man, you can't tell him whether he can walk like around dressed like a woman or not. But I tell you this, somebody failed him as teaching him the difference between a man and a woman.
Exactly. But his father was cross-dressing. That was his example. Going to the Diddy parties, putting that pink cocaine in the lotion. You know what I'm saying?
Look, well, let me tell you like this. Them people go over there and do what them people do is leave me out of it.
Mm. Do you imagine you go to a party, you chilling, everybody's cool, and then like midnight, like the Cinderella clock goes off, ding, and then everybody is out there dressed like, Cinderella and her sisters, her ugly stepsisters, run around butt naked with petroleum jelly, throwing it around like it's football. I'm sorry, Rod. I'm being very inappropriate. I apologize for you. You'll never want to come on the show again. Oh,
Well, you got some listeners that need to get the tea, so I'll let you give them a little
you know
tea.
what I'm saying? Stay away from the lotion. Say no to the lotion. You know what I'm saying? It might knock you out. You wake up with like Tinkerbell skirts on, singing all kinds of songs from the 1970 Cartoon Network. Anyway. Okay, so maybe we need to, does anyone want to talk to Rod? I don't want to hold Rod because I could talk to Rod all night. He's let me be me. You let me be my true self. You know what I mean?
You can't get the best out of somebody you trying to make be somebody you want them to be. You got to let them be who they are.
Thank you. Let me just be who I want to be. YouTube should learn that. I've been on YouTube for like 12 years and they still don't get it. My God. Okay, so Rod, you want to take some questions and comments, you think?
Sure.
Okay. We're so calm tonight. You know what I mean? Oh, we got 1.6 thousand people in here. listening to our shenanigans. Okay, let me get the link for them. Anyway, and please, everyone, Rod, can you remind them of your where to find you? And I'm gonna put your Cash App link. Show appreciation to the sick ape. He came on here for the monkey ball shenanigans, and he's been really, really gracious, tolerating my unappropriateness. Okay.
You ain't been inappropriate. You've been politically correct the whole time.
Thank you.
It's just that the other people that keep telling us we politically incorrect is the ones that's politically incorrect because
Thank
they in the
you,
corrupt
Rod.
politics.
Let them know. Let them know. Okay, let me get the link. Hold on.
You catch me in rare form, I be slinging F-bombs like 90 going north.
I like that after 12. You know what I'm saying? After 12, you can just keep it real. You could fly on your vine to the trees and speak however you want. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna send it to the Zombies. Zombies, you're gonna have first dibs to talk to Rod tonight. I gotta give props to the people who support me the most. So let me let them come and speak to Rod Hayes. Okay. Zombies, you can access the link. Come on in, come and ask a question, share something with Rod, while we have him here graciously on a Tuesday. What is it, a Mars day? You know what I'm saying? Okay. Oh, wait. Did you send me your Cash App? Did you send me that, Rod? Can you send me?
Yes, that's it too.
Okay. Okay, let's wait until they check in. They'll come in. Hello. What? Zombies, are you there? Come on in. Come and ask Rod a question. Y'all got a cam up, y'all. If I could cam up and it's late at night, y'all could cam up. Okay, hold on. Hello. Are they not here? Okay, they're taking too long, Rod. So I'm gonna have to throw it out to the YouTube peeps. Okay. Come on, zombies. Check on in. I'm gonna have to hold on. Copy. Okay. Let me put it in the chat and then I'll pin it so they can come on in. Okay. And let me pin it. Pin the message. Okay, you guys have it on YouTube. You can check on it, be appropriate. Yes, one question. Oh, there she goes. That's the saucy one, Rod. Just don't smile too much. Cutie pie. Look at her. Look at her goddess. Go ahead, Nikki. Don't scare him now, Nikki. Come on in. Hey, Nikki, you survived.
Hey, I can't. Camming up. As soon as you said that is when I logged in.
The picture's enough. He can hear that beautiful voice. Come on in, Nikki. What you gotta say?
Oh, I just enjoy both of you so very much. And I love how he tapped into our conversation last night.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, I'm loving that. Camming up. As soon as you said that is when I
Oh, you got your thing in the background. We can hear your background.
Nikki, I agree. It was just so simpático. How it was just on point, and I was just enjoying it and just listening to it, and just it was awesome. It was we're in sync. It was like he was with us last night. It was like,
That's right. He's in there. He's like in the etheric realms, listening to our post insane conversations on our 72-hour Zooms. Oh, Rod,
yes.
we out of control. Like pajama parties that last for like 3 days.
Yeah, he got to come join one.
Esoteric, you join us, Rod. It's like an esoteric dream. Come on in, Zai's here. Oh, the Zoomies are coming in to talk to you, Rod. Okay, y'all. So ask some questions to Rod. Come on in. Anybody have a question, a comment? Hey, Zai.
What's up, Fleur?
Hey, darling. How you doing?
I'm pretty good. Just outside with all the smart particle fog at the moment.
Oh,
I don't know if
you inhaling all those nanoparticulates? You feel good about it, don't you?
No, I don't. I feel horrible. All right, so
So come on in. Oh, I think I let the floodgate open. Hold on, y'all. Rod, hold on. I gotta close the doors. Hold on. Okay. Come on in. We're gonna leave the doors. I got everybody in. Look at True Seeker looking saucy too. Rod, you know what I'm saying? They all come. You got like a tribe going on. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead. What you gotta say, True Seeker? You looking cute.
Oh, thank you. You are so gracious. um, Rod, I am a Gullah Geechee from Charleston, South Carolina, and a mermaid, according to my sister FleurBrun.
Tell him.
And so I just wanted to know if you could expound on the Gullah people a little, because it's so hard to find our history even living here. I know there ain't no slave ships here. And all the women here look like mermaids.
Tell
So
him. Tell him,
yeah.
True Seeker. You know what I'm saying?
So I
Well,
want to know what the connection is, and if you could just tell me a little bit more about my people, because it's so hard to find information that's real. We have a guy in Yosemite, South Carolina, that's trying to bring some truth to the community, but of course, he's having so many walls because everybody want to be African. So,
Oh.
but that's my question
so
for you.
first, I'm gonna refer you to the legendary Top Cat because he goes in depth.
Okay.
So you can look him up on YouTube.
I think I may know who you're talking about, but go ahead.
But the next thing I tell you is the foresight that the enemy was at the gate was a Gullah Geechee Big Mama.
Mm-hmm.
And she called on a spirit knock, all tribes on deck to Florida.
Okay.
Florida now is the finish line for the old chiefs. They had to cross back to the original battleground before they go back home.
Okay.
We end up fighting in the entirety of the South. We was the French in Western Florida and the Spanish in Eastern Florida. And she was the big mama that was greeting the chiefs and dispatching them to where they needed to go according to the skill set that they had. And her name has been erased out of history.
Mm.
But her signature is all over our tribal movements. I know from knowing our culture that the only person that could call the tribes, as far as the Tongan Islands, Hawaii, and Alaska, she had to be the highest ranked female on the land.
Mm-hmm.
And they would use a telepathic connection to call the other big mamas.
Mm.
This is what the war against the women over here was that became known as witch trials.
Mm.
They were teaching the immigrant women how to tap into the frequency of the mitochondria so that they can assimilate on the land. We
Mm-hmm.
always took people from all over the world. So when new people come, they get instructed by the big mamas.
Right.
Example is when the Irish came, they was settling in the Appalachia, they was prone to sunburn.
Mm-hmm.
And the big mama from the area gave them silver water to drink, but she told them it's going to change the color of your skin, and now they look like Smurfs.
Right.
Right? That's where the whole Smurf village concept came from.
Mm.
The Smurfs are known in Ireland as the leprechauns.
Mm-hmm. And they have
We
great.
don't, right? So we don't know that all of these stories is connected to the movement of the people on the land. So the big mama that called us, she was Gullah Geechee.
Mm.
And this is why they went hardest to erase y'all history.
Mm.
But y'all named after places on the land. And y'all do have an African connection, but that's not uncommon for East Coast tribes.
Right.
Right? And the royalty from over there would marry the royalty from over here pre-Columbian era for genetic diversity.
What is the Ibu people a part of that?
Um, I'm not exactly sure which groups from Africa,
Okay.
but I know we do have some people that's from the tribes over here that identify with that tribe.
Mhm.
And they even have some communities with a lot of the similar art from that same cultural background. But that's easily is explained when you realize if the daughters of one of the chiefs over there married a chief from over here, she would influence the culture.
Right.
Good
So
night.
the Big Mama started here in the Gullah Geechee land on
Yeah.
Turtle Island.
She the one that's seen all the way into today.
And we over here controlling the weather over here in Charleston on this 33rd parallel.
That's right.
And-
Tell them. Tell them.
Yeah, if we don't want it to rain, we just say, go away, rain, and it's gone.
That's the magic that still exists.
Oh my gosh. Thank you so much, guys. Oh man. Thank you, Rod.
Thank you. Anybody else want to come and ask a question to Max?
Yeah, I got one.
Yes, come on in, Zaid.
Okay, so all right, my question. So we have, can I say this? I know a lot of the original tribes from different areas got wiped out, and they had to consolidate like for survival and join like other tribes.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess I'm having a hard time trying to find out like how many original tribes there were on the land, because I've heard different things, but like I'm not exactly sure. So can you kind of expound on that, Ron?
I know that there's at least 5,000 tribes across the land.
Okay.
And in those tribes got a lot of intermingling that made even secondary tribes under them. The confederations was groups of tribes in certain areas working together in harmony with their neighbor.
Right.
Right. So this is how we begin to form what they call super tribes. When the tribes are snuffed out and the history is erased, when we reconstitute, we're going to find some kind of name that tie us back to what took place on the land. And this is going to explain how your gangs is really the tribes reconstituting after our history's been erased.
Hmm. Hmm.
When you look
That's
up the
cool.
word gang, they know it means tribe.
Yeah. Yep.
Even in the language that they use with their hands, like if you look at like on the West Coast, a lot of that language is like literally the language of the Maya, the tribes that were on that coast that were using those figurative kind of language, the language they use with their hands. They call it,
Yeah. Yes, that's
Exactly.
old tradition. That go all the way back to the beginning.
Mhm.
We've been using sign language longer than we've been talking.
Absolutely. And it was universal with a lot of tribes across certain regions.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love that.
Now look,
Yeah.
it coming from the Midwest, right? If I go to California, by color, I'm gonna be affiliated with Crips because growth and development's colors is blue.
Oh, okay.
But the Crips where they had to the left out west, and the folks where they had to the right in Midwest. Right. So when we looking at it, we looking at mirror images of our culture. We trying to remind each other who we are by being ourselves and clicking up with the ones that vibrate on our frequency. We just keep getting infiltrated.
Dang.
Man, talk that G talk, big dog. Man, you talking about? Come on, dog.
Crazy.
I can hear me. Oh, my bad.
Yes, AJ. Yes. Yes.
Oh yeah, though. Yeah, peace and love, man. You already know, Big Rod, man. Man, and the love of the goddess right here for sure. Yeah, this right here from LA. He talking real talk. We talk with the fingers and all that, and everything on the land. It is what it is. I would just got one question for you, Rod. Just I say you say in the next 5 to 7 years, how would you see the land as far as like the people? You don't really like do like theoreticals, like little stuff like that. But hypothetically speaking, I know it's a million and one eyes or whatever, but what would
Well,
you
I could
what
tell
would you
you
want?
based on the transition that's taking place, and I can estimate a most likely scenario.
Yes, God.
And I can tell you how I get to that. Now, I know that we have to change all lines of demarcation. Those are the lines that separate states, border lines. They have to change. I know that. I know that when they change, it's going to probably be less than 50 states. They're going to be broke up into more or less territories, right? The Canadian border is an artificial land, and the QSIP number of Canada or the business number for Canada and the business number for America is the same number, which ties to Trump killing the tariff because there should be no tariffs on something that's coming from home.
Mm,
Come on, dog.
Also, and part of the claim is the formerly Greenland.
right.
So this is why Trump was talking about purchasing Greenland because he know that's part of Turtle Island.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
oh,
Yeah.
Yes,
wow.
sir.
So once Greenland being restored, he's taking back systematically everything they separated us by. He's undoing. So now they have to put in new lines, new measurements, right? And I see most of us, well, we gonna have a whole bunch of money in our pockets. And
Yes.
it ain't gonna be no fiat ghost currency.
Thanks.
Mm.
I know enough to know that they know who we all are, so we not gonna have to look for nothing. They responsible to give it back. They took it without our permission. And just like you walked up on my front porch and you took my pumpkin, you gonna walk back up here and put me a new one up here. I'm not going to the store. Don't give me the money for it. Go get me a pumpkin.
Just like that.
And
Just like
just like
that.
you walked your happy ass up here and took it off my front porch, you put it back. And all your friends gonna stand on the curb and watch when you put it back.
Mm,
Cause the next time I'm not gonna be so nice. So
Yeah.
I know that that's gonna change. I know that whatever is going on with the closeout had to be done before the national celebration. It's already been announced and scheduled.
We linking up for that too, Raj. For sure. I already ordered my feathers.
So
For
this
sure.
is why when they say game over, everything speed up.
mm.
They running out of time.
89 seconds.
Thank you for
Doomsday
that.
clock. Yes,
I think,
man. Thank
Chris, you got a,
God. Thank God.
thank you, AJ. Thank you, AJ. How about Christy? Christy, you have a question? And Daryl? I know our sun stars. I love when our sun stars come
I
here.
love it. I
AJ's
love
in the
it.
house, powerful, got that West Coast vibe going on. It's beautiful. This is absolutely beautiful.
I would just like to, Brother Rod, and appreciate you and thank you for Young Elder. I would ask, because I'm in Nebraska, what could I do to help like people wake up to their power and how can I heal in Nebraska? Because I know there's very powerful energy in the Midwest. That's all I'd ask.
It's a lot of energy centers in your area. But what you focus on first is helping your family get their senses in order and focus on the children.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the old people is a lost cause. You can put the world at their feet and they're gonna lose it all tomorrow.
Mm.
So you focus on the children because they'll grow up anticipating what they need to be in order to carry the torch.
Mm.
Thank you
I'll
for
do
that.
it. Thank you, FleurBrun. Thank you for everything. Appreciate you.
Okay, thank you. Sunside Daryl. Daryl, you got a question for Rod? Wise one, Wise Daryl. I should call him Wise Daryl. He's part of our group. He's up all night with us. He
He looked
tolerates.
like one of the OGs used to teach.
Good, Daryl.
Uh-oh. So, FleurBrun, hello. Fleur family, hello.
Hey, Daryl.
Chief Pontiac, always great to hear your deliveries. Yeah. So I would before, I don't know what you tell us, we don't know what this new system's going to look like. We don't know what to look for. But before I even knew any of this, I would be trying to think up solutions to different problems and share them with different groups. And some of them were like, when we were using the IDs, when we had to use IDs, we could put our own mark on our IDs or driver's license that said whether we had sickle cell or the sickle cell trait.
Mm-hmm.
We would put our own uniform mark on that, and the families would tell their mates what to look for on these IDs. Some reference. Now, the foster care system was like Donald, well, the developers, they want to build higher than many stories higher than a lot of the public housing is at now. So they're concocting ways and stories to convict the mothers as crazy, as unfit mothers. Then they're taking these children and giving them to lunar families and paying them. They would be giving the mother like $300 a child or something like that, $340 a child. Then they would take these children from the mother and give them to these lunar families and give the lunar families like $2,500 per child.
Mm.
And these children would be some of them would be sleeping in lawnmower sheds, and being abused all kinds of ways. So I don't know what the new system would look like, or will that even be still in place once the switchover comes. But
That was part of an experiment out of the military, a nature versus nurture experiment. That was a literal experiment that they've been running on these people over here, our people, for over 200 years. Nature versus nurture. You can look it up. That's the long run experiment. That if they continuously raise us around people that's not who we are, will we adopt a false identity, or will we break free from the mental bondage of being misled and find out who we are? It's a nature versus nurture experiment. They did it on purpose. They dismantled. I could tell you what child protective services look like under a matriarchy. There's a council of women, and they called the women from the family of the children to find out the most fit person in the family to raise the children, and then they give them all of the support they need.
Beautiful, beautiful. Yeah.
That's a whole different system.
Mm-hmm.
That's how it was done before they came, and that's how it's going to go back to, because it was the most functional, producing the most functional offspring.
Absolutely. Thank you for that. Thank you, Daryl, for that question. Okay. Well, I'm not gonna hold Mr. Pontiac cheap. Sick 8. you know, monkey king. Too long. But anybody else have a question before we give him his grace to chill out? Because he's not, hopefully it won't be the last time. Hopefully I didn't scare him enough. So it's the last time he comes on here. You know what I mean?
No, I don't think you scared him at all.
I don't scare easy at all.
I have a question.
Come on in, Selma. This is our wise one over here. Come in, Selma.
Hey. Oh, I took my camera off. Yeah, hey. Oh, Delugians or whatever that is. I was supposed to remind
yeah.
Yeah.
You're supposed
So,
yeah.
hey, Rod, Chief Pontiac. I
Look
have
at my
so
beautiful
much
queen. Look at
respect for
that.
you and
That's
what
the
you're
one who
doing.
leads us through the, look at her looking good. Cleanse from parasites. She tortures us with parasite cleanses, just letting you know, Rod. But I'm gonna let her be.
I see she glowing.
She is beautiful. Look at her.
Rod, how do you think this is going to look? How are these heathens going to get out of the way? I mean, they don't have any honor. They're not savage or civilian. How do we expect them to just get out of the way?
You know what? That's like the lion walking through a pack of hyenas talking about how I'm gonna tell them to get out the way.
Oh.
They gonna fucking move.
How?
The same energy that lion project when he walking through that pack of hyenas is the same way. Nature is taking its course. They can defy me and you, but they can't defy the laws of nature. And nature say that if you put the woman back at the place that she's supposed to be as the matriarch, everything gonna run the way it's supposed to run, and all of what we see as problems gonna melt away, heaven on earth again. All that heavenly description was earth before these invaders came. And we had the last stronghold of the taste of earth under the matriarchy over here before 1492. Now they done effed it all up. I'm just here to put it all back.
So it's just going to be a graceful changing of the guards.
It wasn't graceful. You just ain't gonna see all of the drama that's involved, the blood and the guts and the gore. You're not gonna be the one running in the tunnels, clearing them babies out of there, but it's gonna get done. We just up here occupying the day-to-day people, but you got people running in tunnels right now, running in mansions in diverse places that we didn't even know buildings was there. They still doing the work. Just because we not seeing it don't mean it's not getting done. They can't give it back to us until it's cleaned up. That's what Donald J. doing. They put Kamala and them in there because they didn't have enough time to clean it up. Continue running the show.
He's a qualified candidate for that? I've never seen it displayed in his whole history. I've been watching him.
He's our
From the
buck dancing cracker.
poor boys from Central Park. I mean, how is he the one? He's the golden child? Oh, he's the orange child.
Nope. He's our buck dancing cracker.
Oh.
The same way they use these buck dancing niggas to come and tell us to calm down and change our name to African American and come march because they done effed us up. We ain't gonna tear nothing up, but we just gonna walk down the street and say kumbaya. He our buck dancing cracker. Let him dance. You don't gotta like him. I don't like him. I don't know nothing about him.
So everything is in order. We don't have everything's okay.
He doing everything required in order for us to get everything back. The Black Panther Party picked him. I don't know. Shit. He been financing them since he was in college.
Wait, you said the Black Panther Party picked him?
Yeah.
Interesting.
A lot of stuff they don't tell us in the media about that man.
Look, he was financing the Black Panther Party as a college student. He was going to rallies, to Black Panther Party rallies and other groups like Weather Underground rallies when he was in college. And
So
it
he's
just so
supposed to
happened
die?
that the system stepped on his toes when they tried to kill Ronnie. Because he loved Ronnie. Just like he loved Johnny. They killed both of them now. Or tried to kill one of them.
So
Oh,
is he friends with Netanyahu? I mean,
Netanyahu, his day coming. Look, this is what I'm telling you. Don't matter what he say out his mouth right now. When it's time to clean up the Middle East, it's getting cleaned up. Period. Right now, it ain't time. We got too much other stuff going to just take precedent over that for the Earth Alliance to do. Long as they can get them to stop dropping bombs while we deal with the other matters, believe me, when the dragon whip his tail, he clear the whole table. Ain't nobody getting away with none of this dirt they doing. None of it. It might look like they getting away with it. Some of them, we want them to think they got away with it so they can suffer longer. Like Dick Cheney.
Oh.
so that's Black. That's the BlackRock group. Yeah.
BlackRock ain't who y'all been told either.
Pardon?
BlackRock not who y'all been told. Vanguard not who y'all been told. And State Street not who y'all been told. They
it's
just
not.
taking because they sheep dip the best people for the job that them people own it. They don't own jack. Everything is misdirection until you can see the right direction.
Well, I'm pulling for the orange man to either fall off the side of his
I told you he Agent Orange.
he definitely is. He
Oh,
definitely
They can't
Agent
get him
Orange.
off.
he definitely is.
Agent Orange.
He's sticking to him, burning it down so good they can't get him off.
You know what I'm saying? I'm here for the shenanigans.
You see, the dude just issued the complaint against the governor of Pennsylvania for putting a hit on him.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah. Everybody got a hit on him.
Listen,
Everybody's
when
in
the
love.
old man Bush left that note that said they know everything, he meant that. He meant that. We know everything. We got a dog in every fight. Just because you don't see the dog don't mean we ain't fighting there.
Well, he's definitely a dog. He's a dog, his wife's a dog, and his son's a dog. Literally.
Well,
Anyway.
if you want to work on your parasites or your mucoid plaque, you let Fleur know and I can help you.
You know what I'm saying? She's a parasite slayer. She's a parasite slayer.
Thing.
She's
Yeah,
got our
very
parasites
serious.
running for the hill.
Yeah.
He's got most of us going through the mucoid plaque cleanse right now.
Yeah. They ain't no subliminal messages coming from the inside.
No.
Yeah. The demons within. Yeah, they got them in us. Yeah.
So, well, I want to
Yeah.
thank
Well,
Rod,
thank
everyone.
you.
Thank Rod for joining us tonight. I want to, if you
you.
guys can gracefully check on out, I'll see you in a while because I can't remove you because then I can't let you back in. Everyone, grace out. Thank you for everyone coming in and asking Rod, coming here with Rod. Yeah, coming in, Darlene. Darlene, you had a question?
Nope, I hit the wrong button. I was getting ready to leave out.
That's okay.
Gratitude, Rod. Rod,
Thank
gratitude.
you so much.
Thank you so much.
I will
Really
see you guys.
appreciate it.
Yes, thank you so much.
I'll see you guys in a little bit because if I remove you, I can't let you back in. So best to step out the left or right. Peace out. Can I get another one?
Hello.
Yes. Christian, can you check
Yes,
out?
it's my.
Yeah.
No, I just wanted to ask a question.
Oh, sure.
Hey, Rod, I had a question. I was just thinking about today. Could it be possible that the death cult of the New World Order, is it possible that perhaps they're all dead already, and all that we see now is just their seeds, their philosophy being carried out by all of the world banks and possibly now by AI? So technically, there will be no way to get rid of them. We will have to shut down all the bank systems. Will have to go offline just to get rid of get rid of that dead cult, parasite plagues.
Yeah, actually, that's part of the program. The debts, the banks will be closed for a minimum of 24 hours. Um, to switch over from the fiat debt-based currency to the interim currency that'll be gold and probably silver notes as the replacement currency.
What does that mean?
A lot of what you just said about the banks to switch over and to transfer what you will be looking to see.
I heard it was more of a transference of power than a exchange of power.
It is a transfer of power back from the invading forces of Europe and the banking systems that they installed. All of those were tools of war used against us. So now, when we go back to the tribal systems, we have to first go back through an interim system where everything is switched over from the old way to the new way. But you've got to first tear down the old system. So this is what you're looking at being done in Washington right now. It's not even called DC no more if you look it up.
That's
It's
right.
just Washington. It's a militarized zone.
Yeah.
Okay. Is that a good thing, do you think?
Yes, it's good for the tribes. It's bad for anybody that want to do their dirt though.
Oh,
Okay. Thank you.
thank you, Christian. That was a great question. Thank you, Christian. I'll see you later. Thanks, Christian. Sunshine Daryl, you're gonna check that out. We're gonna do a nice little farewell to our amazing guest today. He never disappoints. Rod, you come in and you show up and you show out. We don't even ever had a designated conversation. You just like let it flow. You know what I mean? So what
Tony
everyone
Braxton.
I want everyone to thank Hayes for coming in tonight, everyone, and definitely please donate for his generous time and effort and this scholarship. And it's not scholarship that just comes from literature. It's just masterful wisdom gained through time, through innovative intuition. And obviously he's connected. He said he's not a spaceman. He said he is an 8 though. That might be a little spacey. But
We just
but
monkeying around.
I definitely show a little appreciation. And Rod, tell them again how they can find you, because I know you're all over, but tell them where they can really find you online.
So my Facebook page is Rod Hayes. I'll pull it up so y'all can see it.
Okay.
This here right now, but my profile and my background change often because they mean something.
Yeah, you've got the bell on there. You've got the
They
bell.
do that.
Yeah.
That's the where we go one, we go all bell.
Oh,
The Liberty Bell got a crack in it. It's useless,
yes.
but it's a map. The screw
Rod,
tell you where the Crystal City gonna land.
what?
The county is called Silver Bow.
Rod is giving us a treasure hunt. This
The
would be
lake
fun.
is called Emerald Lake.
I'm
It's
gonna,
a little landing near the lake, almost perfectly flat.
which lake? Near,
It's Emerald Lake in Silver Bow County in Colorado State.
okay, Rod, put on your spacesuit, picking you up. Let's go find a treasure. Oh my God,
Um,
are you serious? You're
yeah,
gonna have me look for it, and you know I'll do it.
do it on the live.
I swear to God, I'll do it. Don't test me. I'll
Do it
do
on
it.
do it on the live.
I'm gonna put my boots on, and you're gonna see me trekking over there. For
The Crystal City is gonna land
hold
on
on,
Emerald Lake.
hold on. Hold on. Let me write this down. I'm serious. Oh, this is gonna be fun. This will be like my 2025 designated trip. Like Colorado.
Mhm.
Colorado. So what am I looking for? Probably there'll be clues. Will there be clues when I get there?
Yeah, it's gonna be the clue gonna be that the county's shaped like the Liberty Bell.
Oh, this is fabulous. Oh my God, this is exciting. How do you
The
know
Wizard
this?
of Oz told you it was the Emerald City, but it's not the Emerald City, it's the Crystal City.
How do you know this, Rod? How do you know this? Do you like go into the etheric realm and just like go around and just like get information, like just extract?
Kinda.
I think so. There's
This
some of the
was the,
information you have.
when I that first came to me as a channel message, told me that it was a scavenger hunt and I had to find the landing site of the Crystal City.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna pick you up. 3 o'clock on the dot, on spot, on site, on site. You see me at the door like FleurBrun. I really didn't invite you over here. Get the hell out of the house.
This this is my Instagram.
Everyone look at the Instagram. What does it say, Rod? Because you can't see
The
it.
sick ape.
The sick ape. So y'all join Rod on Instagram. I know he does lives on Facebook. I never see your lives, but I don't think I'm subscribed. We just kind of talk on Facebook. I don't think I'm subscribed.
I only did a couple up in the last couple months. I did one last night, was the first one in a while.
You want to come on X with me? Because I'm trying to gaslight the bio board and see how long until he kicks me off fully. I'm trying to go on. I'm serious. I'm on X and I'm trying to that's my goal, to gaslight him and see if he like glitches out and just really implodes.
What are you
I'll
talking
call
about?
Yeah, I could do a live on X. I can do it. I don't know how to. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna call you. You can come on X
Okay.
with me?
When you gonna do it?
I don't know.
Okay. Let's just keep me posted.
I'll call you.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Everyone, thank you so much, Sherrod, coming on tonight. He was such a pleasure. I so appreciate you coming on tonight. Please contact him, give him some love, some donations. He never even asked for it. He's just amazing. I think he deserves everything, every bit of energy that we can give him. I want to thank you again, Rod, for coming on. Thank you for YouTube for being so gracious and everyone coming in. Thank you, the Zombies, for coming in, asking some phenomenal questions. And I'll see the Zombies in a little bit. So everyone on YouTube, we're going to check on out. So peace.